Thanks for joining us this Saturday afternoon or evening, depending on where you're at in the world. I'm Chrissy with Brainbenders Banter. I invite you and so glad that you're here and spending a Saturday with us. Thank you so much. Tonight, we're going to be talking about things over time that has been lost. Now, my mom asked me to please mention a few things for her because she's not able to be on my live streams or come like watch them. But regardless, so she says that she wanted me to talk about how she misses the aluminum metal cups that you used to put milk in, and the milk would be nice and ice cold, and she misses that from when she was a kid. And she said patriotism. I thought that was a good one. And then she said also, she said that having a meal at the table with your family, like it brought the family closer. It was a bond that the family had, and that's kind of went away. And so like you could literally say like table manners as well. Like she was saying table manners, and she was saying a bunch of other stuff like foods, recipes. Like she said, whatever happened to tuna casserole? I was like, it wasn't good. Anyways, so let's get to it. So I hope you guys all have your thinking caps on and you're ready to brain bend, and we're going to talk about things that have been lost. It could be treasures, it could be past, like drinking out of the garden hose or riding in the back of a truck, like whatever it is to you, it's your perception. So let's get with it. And we're back. So I hope you guys like that. I make all my own trailers and my own videos and stuff. So hopefully you like that. I hope you guys like the new backdrop. It is actually a printed made backdrop. So it's not a fake green screen. So I'm going to introduce you to our amazing panel tonight. I'm so proud and honored and complimented that these people join me on Saturdays on Brainbenders Banter to bring to you guys amazing content and topics. And I love every single one of these people on my panel. They mean a lot to me. And I also feel like every single one of them has a perspective that needs to be heard. And from all the different walks of life, male, female, age groups, so forth and so on. But we all have our opinions, and I'd like to have everyone have theirs heard. And these people are very valuable to me in my life. So thank you all for joining me and being on my panel. If you're on my panel, you're something special, because that means you've got my heart, because I love you guys. And all of you people in chat, you have my heart too, because you're here watching. So I am so excited that you guys are all here joining us on this Saturday. So I'm going to start by introducing Jim's camera at dawn. Hi, Jim.
Greetings from North Carolina. I hope everybody's having a great day today, and they're ready to celebrate Father's Day tomorrow. If you like to get relaxed, come over and you can go on a mountaintop or a waterfall over on what I do on YouTube.
Yay. Thank you for joining us, Jim. We love having you. And I'm going to bring up, hey, look who showed up. Okay, so now I'm going to bring up, welcome to the panel, Lobo Chris.
Howdy, everybody. Greetings from NorCal. The host of Lobo's Lair, going to start a new podcast starting tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. If you want to come over and actually talk about what's on your mind. No topic is taboo. All I ask is just respect each other and respect the host when you're there, and we speak the truth. And I am proud to be here with you today, Lady C. Uh-oh, where'd the sound go?
Chrissy, I think you're muted.
I am.
There you are.
So when you text me today and asked like, am I on panel or am I whacking trolls? And I was like, would you want to be on panel? Like, if you want to be on panel, you can go on panel. Sure. Announce that you're going live tomorrow for the first time. That's exciting.
Yeah.
Like the first time I went live, I had a puke bucket under the desk by my feet because I thought I was gonna throw up. And now, like, I hit the button and I'm just like, let's go. Like,
Yeah, I'm nervous as a chicken in a gator pit too.
I got you. Like I've done it not that long ago, just a few weeks. So I've got you. I'm here for you.
We'll be
Buddy.
there to support you. We'll be
Yeah.
there to support you.
Right on.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it, everybody.
Let's start bringing some girls up. So I'm going to bring up Snarky. Hi, Snarky.
Boopies. Boopies, y'all. Love everybody.
Snarky is from Arkansas, or she's in Arkansas.
I'm in Arkansas.
That's correct. Got you. And then Sarah, are you there, Sarah? She might still be over at Chances. Yeah, we can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
It's like my room has a skylight, and it's like almost under here, and so my room bakes, and so the is broken, and I'm just a bunch of awesomeness. Anyways, and anything lose everything because features. And there you go.
Okay.
Hi, everybody.
Bring it
Father's Day
up.
and all that thing.
Dan. Hi, Dan.
Greetings from South Carolina. I don't know if I started a new trend or half the panel's just ragging me by starting with the greetings, but either way, that's cool and it's good to be here. How are you doing tonight?
It is amazing. We had a good day today. My mom had a good day today, so it was good. So thank you for asking. That was sweet. All right, let's see who's in chat. Let me see if I could grab some people up from chat, like some people that stopped by and said hi. I see Danny was the first to say, hey, yo. Right there. And then we have Blythe the butterfly. She's amazing. And she says, happy Father's Day to everybody out there. Skeleton. That's an interesting name. It works out when you say it. Dreamy helmet. Not my Maddie. Hello, everyone. All these new people that are coming in. I appreciate you being here. Thank you. Hello, Jim. Jim saying hi to people. Let's see. Hi, Richie. Nice for you to be here, Richie. Richie is in the Philippines, and she's a BBB fan. So she's one of the BBB. She loves the games and puzzles. Mom got it right. Jim, what do you mean by that? Explain.
Just what you was telling us before we went live, and she was the list that she gave you to mention. You've already mentioned just about everything you said beforehand.
Ah, okay. Just make. And we have Bud Files. Hello, hello, hello. Hello. Like done. Okay. We got Snarky Sass. Hey there, Miss Hot Gorgeous. There you go, Snark. You got a fan in the house, Snarky.
Mwah.
Got Richie. Thank you, Richie. Long time. Drop it by you. There you go. You got another fan, Snarky. I love. I had to move past that real fast. All right. So
Hello,
why don't we go
my
ahead?
people.
I'm all, ooh, let me move past that real quick.
What?
Family show. Family show.
Oh man.
I mean, if you want to see it, you can look up in the chat at 611.
No,
I was like, oh, okay. So then we have the
that'll
bug
take too much
files.
trouble.
No, I don't think so either. Not at all. Or I didn't take offense to it. I just didn't put it on screen. That's all. And I hope they don't get offended that I didn't put it on screen. But we've got Brandon's truck. Hi, Brandon. Nice to see you, Brandon. I saw you over at Chance's live. He's doing amazing tonight. That was awesome. Sarah, you've got fans in the house. We've got a bunch of new people in here that I haven't seen before. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead and start with you, Jim, if that's okay. And we can let you tell us what things in life you missed that have been lost.
Oh, things in personal life that's been lost is like just a slower pace. Life seems to go by a lot quicker. Inflation. I mean, I remember going to a gas station and one of my siblings filled up their car from empty, and it was $4 to fill up from empty, and we didn't hear the end of that for more than a week because the price of gas had gotten so high. So things like that, and then I got a list of some things I found that were lost and seemed to not be able to be found. And you actually covered one of them already, and that was the city of El Dorado. The natives in Peru called it HTT. I may have mispronounced that, but that's what the locals called it. Paititi in Peru. And
was that on the trailer?
Well, actually, no. Yours was the Lost Dutchman.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But those are two gold things that are lost that I think a lot of people would like to find these days. And then some things that got lost that I can't understand why these things were lost. The patent office cannot find the Wright brothers patent for an airplane. The plans to the Saturn V rocket are gone. NASA can't seem to find those. I mean, the rocket that got us to the moon, and they lost the plan. And then the maps of Japan that were used to mark the targets for the atomic bomb, they seem to have gotten lost. And last but not least on the list that I had, King John of England, he lost the crown jewels. They were in some of his luggage, and there was an accident on a ship, and it got washed out to sea. So the crown jewels of King John have not been found.
Wow.
And that's the list that I came up with to just kind of balance things out.
That sounds amazing, Jim. Like, did you know also that Amelia Earhart's plane is also missing?
Oh yeah, they never found her. I mean, she went missing on a round the world trip.
Correct.
And it was close to World War II, and the Japanese are said to have thought that she was a spy for the United States, and obviously she wasn't. She was just trying to fly around the world.
You do know, excuse me, but you do know that it's come out that her plane was equipped with camera devices for filming, and she was supposed to film the Japanese fleet and stuff for the military.
Oh,
it's come out.
So they owned up to it.
Classified stuff. Just saying.
Well, no, I hadn't heard about that. So, but Amelia, she was way ahead of her time and doing a great job. There were other female flyers, but she stood out. And it was sad, the tragedy that happened to her. She got about 2/3 of the way around the world before she got lost. Hey, Corey.
Hi, Corey. Welcome to the chat.
All right. You want to let someone take a turn?
Yeah,
Because
are you
that's
done?
pretty much my list. Yep, that's
Okay.
my list.
All right, then I'll swap you out. Give me 1 second.
Thank you.
No problem. Lobo.
Aha. 'Tis my turn. The things that I find are, as far as I'm concerned, that are missing from days gone by, most of them are not tangible items, but they're very noticeable. I've noticed that we're missing a lot of the common sense we used to have, where we pretty much intrinsically knew what was right and what was wrong, and how to treat each other, and how to get along, and everything. It seems that common sense that used to be actually so common just isn't so common anymore. Respect for ourselves and each other's, that's missing in today's society, that I have noticed. Common courtesy has gone by the roadside. A sense of responsibility. People just don't want to take responsibility for what they do anymore. Used to, a person would make a mistake, they'd say, okay, it's my fault, my bad, what can I do to fix it? Not anymore. Somebody messes something up, they'll point the fingers at somebody else. Pride in yourself and your work. People used to take pride in doing a hard day's work, come home tired, but that was what you did that day. That was you. That was your character. You put all of yourself into what you did, because that said who you were. And then we come down to products built to last. Nothing really lasts anymore when you buy it. It's like it's built to break as soon as possible, so you have to spend some more money. And metal cars. I miss real, honest to goodness, solid metal tanks where you can put your family in and feel safe. And that be my list.
My
Good
pappy had
list.
one of those. My grandpa had one of those Cadillacs that had like the
Oh.
wings. Oh
Oh,
my
yeah.
gosh, that thing! Oh, in a destruction derby, it would have tore everything up.
Oh yeah.
It was a tank. I remember. So I think that I'm gonna go here. So besides, like things like of that, like like toys or like things like I miss drinking out of the garden hose and riding in the back of a truck.
Tonka toys.
Yeah.
You remember the Tonka toys that they were made out of metal? My father bought me a toy hauler, a car hauler, when I was really young. Got it at a rummage sale, which is the only reason I got it, because we were really poor when I was a child. And I was always a chubby kid, and I would sit on that thing and ride it around the yard. It wouldn't dent, it wouldn't nothing. And my father told me one day, he says, yep, you'll never tear that up. Well, I took it as a challenge. He came out of the house a little while later, and I was sitting there with a ball peen hammer banging on it. I think that was about the worst whipping I ever got from my father right there.
Yeah,
I considered it a challenge. I was a stubborn little thing. Oh, I can't tear it up. Okay, let's see about that. But even with a ball peen hammer, me sitting there banging on it, that Tonka toy, it was like a Timex watch. It took a licking and kept on ticking. I had that thing so long. I had that thing until I was too old to play with toys anymore. Stuff like that. It was my Tonka car hauler. Oh man, I remember that now. I could hear the sound of it going through the gravel now. I could smell the air in the country where I was playing with it. Thank you for reminding me of that, Chrissy. That was amazing. I miss my truck.
Well, I just saying, like, it's not just about, because I think we all miss those family dinners, those traditional things. Like my family nowadays, after my grandma's passed, they don't care about the traditional dinner anymore that we used to have every year that my grandma's grandma taught us all how to make. Now they're like, oh, let's change the menu. And I'm like, no, I don't want to change the menu, but I'm the oldest. And so the younger ones, they're like, oh, but I want to do something different. And I'm like, well, do something different on another day. Like, I don't know. I guess I'm just traditional that way, but I don't know. I personally miss like just the family get together things that everyone would do. Now everybody's on their phones. They're involved on playing video games. Like I go to my sister's house and she's got like a bunch of kids over there. I don't see anybody spending time together. Like they're video gaming or they're doing things or, it's like, I just miss that family stuff.
When you want to talk to the person in the next room, you send them a text.
My daughter used to do that to me. And then what really happened is then, like I text messaged her one day because we were somewhere and I wanted to go, but she was talking. And so I text her and she texts me back. And all of a sudden, I saw her phone and it said spawn point. And I said, spawn point? And she goes, yeah, that's you, Mom. And I'm like, why am I spawn point? Because it's a very crucial part of a game. I was like, instead of Mom, like,
Oh,
you
no.
just copy in your phone under Mom. She's like, it's spawn point. It's where
Oh,
you
no.
rejuvenate and you're created. And I'm like,
That's-
okay, I guess gamer reference.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So, all right, Snarky, are you ready? Lobo,
Sure.
are you done?
Yes, I'm done. Thank you.
You're welcome. I wanted to make sure I'm not being disrespectful. Oh, Sarah's back. Doop. There's Sarah. My flock is everywhere. Okay. And
Yeah,
I'm going to bring up.
Yeah, I've been back for a few minutes.
Sorry, I didn't hear the boop.
Yeah, it's terrible, isn't it? And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm not even signed in right because of technical issues. So sorry about that, everybody. Bad, sorry.
Okay. I got to bring up Snarky. Snarky. There we go, Snark. What do you miss the things that have been lost in time?
Cabooses. The caboose at the end of the train. We used to sit there every time, because I grew up in a town that the railroad tracks went right smack through, and we'd always be stopped at a train over and over again, so many times, and we'd count them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 87 cars, and there's the caboose. Everybody wave. Yeah, no cabooses anymore. They just decommissioned them, made them go away, and I always liked them. Pudding Pops. Yep, Miss Pudding Pops too. Good rock and roll, but it always is there. It's just the same old rock and roll, but that's all right. I don't mind. Can't hear you, Chrissy.
I keep forgetting I mute it to be respectful so I don't overspeak people and then I forget to unmute it. I don't want to be disrespectful. So, okay.
Okay.
I was just reading the private chat. Sorry. So, Jim, I'm going to put Jim back up when you're done, Snarky, because he has something he wants to reiterate on something that he'd like to speak about. But so Snarky, is that, what about your childhood toys? What about like values, morals, like traditional things? Like,
I'm not a real big traditionalist. I'm not really. Yeah, I miss some stuff, but I don't like kids anymore, so I don't care about toys really.
I was jamming.
I do miss having people, face to face people. I saw somebody write that in the comments. Das, I think, wrote that in the comments. And I do kind of miss actually hanging out in the same room with people, but I kind of am. I'd rather us be hanging around in the cyberspace together than not hanging around at all. So I'm okay.
Yeah. Like this person says, we need more than one traditional dinner per year. Yes, I agree. Like we need a few. Like I think it should be like quarterly. Like more like quarterly or even once a month that families should get together. I think families are growing apart nowadays and they don't. But
yeah. Well, I'm the nonconformist in the group,
Right.
Right.
And Brandon, I apologize. I guess I'm boring. I'm sorry, Brian. And thank you, Corey. All right. All right. And then I'm going to put Jim back up here. Snarky, if you're done, I'll put Jim back up there to say what he has to say.
Okie doke.
Okay.
I was just going to comment on the families texting each other and such. It seems like the art of conversation is all but gone. People just don't seem to be able to converse with one another about ideas. They mostly want to talk about subjects that are, well, just shouldn't be talked about, especially not in public, but that's another story. Uh, I have known families that they think family time is when each of them are at home in different rooms playing on their phones, computers, or video games. They consider that family time. And a friend of mine that lives up in the Boston area, her son and the son's wife was having a disagreement, and the mother-in-law told the daughter that they should go to separate rooms and text each other when they're having an agreement instead of sitting down face to face and talking it out. And I just can't believe that people feel that way these days. And that's what I wanted to say about what Lobo was talking about. He's right, dead on. Uh, it it is tough getting a family to sit down at the same table together, and I see it all too often out in restaurants. A family of four, all four of them with their nose in their cell phones, not talking to each other, not looking around, just in the cell phone. And that's what I wanted to add to Lobo's comments.
Exactly.
Any questions, Lobo, Chrissy?
No, actually, I think that is, it strikes home with me too, very much so. Like when I was raising my daughter, I used to have a basket on the counter, and we would all put our phones in the basket when we ate dinner, and we'd sit at the table and we'd talk. Or even if we did have a movie night where we ate dinner, like sitting around the TV, we still put our phones up and we had conversation. Like that was important to me as a mom raising my daughter, that I had that contact and that communication with her, and that I'm like, okay, we could watch a movie tonight, but we're still gonna have conversation, and you're gonna put your phone away, and I would put my phone away as well, because you have to lead by example. So we would put our phones in the basket when it was time to eat, and after everything was cleaned up and the kitchen was cleaned up, we'd pick our phones back up out of the basket and we'd go on by what we were doing. But yeah, that was time. It was family time, and you have to kind of almost like schedule, like, okay, from this time to this time is going to be family time, because if you don't, then it just goes crazy, and your kids are grown and gone before you even realize, and then they're on with their own lives, and now what? You don't have that time back. You don't get that.
Nah, man, it takes forever.
It
took forever.
Yeah, no, mine seemed like it went too fast, but that's funny. But all right.
Yeah, that song "Cats in the Cradle."
Exactly.
That's the perfect example, you know.
Yeah.
The dad was busy at work, and the kid was saying, "I want to grow up just to be just like Dad." And the dad never plays with the child, and then the child grows up and never has time for the dad.
Right.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about, because tomorrow being Father's Day, and I'm launching my first show. I let my son know, and asked him if he wanted to come on and be my very first guest, and he he told me he was busy doing other stuff. He wouldn't have time. So it's exactly, that song comes back around. And when he was a little kid, I worked my butt to the bone to make sure that my family had what they needed, and instead of paying attention to what was important and spending a little bit more time with my kids, now it's kind of coming back around.
Po Buddy's perfect.
Nope.
Well, it's not too late. I mean, there's chances. The only thing you can do is offer, And once you've made the offer, they either say yes or no, and it's not on you at that point. It's on them.
Right.
It is.
Cheers from Germany. Well, hello. I don't know how to say that. Parvizal? Parzival? I hope I don't tear that up too much, but welcome. Thank you for joining us tonight. That's awesome that you're in Germany. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers, Nike.
I might have to open a Dr. Pepper on that one.
I know, right? That was amazing. Like Jim.
Once I was 7 years old. Oh yeah. That's a good song.
It is. So
I had a remedy for that myself. I did not buy my children cell phones. My son, the first cell phone I bought for a child was when my son turned 17 and was fixing to graduate. I bought him a truck for graduation, so I got him a cell phone too, just in case he had a problem while he was out there.
Nice.
well, that makes sense because I remember the
But
day
when they were young, like before they turned 17, none of my kids had cell phones.
Yeah, I didn't get mine either.
Well, really, that was kind of before that was a thing because I'm old and stuff.
Look at this comment. Yeah, when I was young, I didn't have cell phones either. Pagers came out when I just started to become an adult. So I didn't get a cell phone until I was an adult, like paying my own way through everything. And then my daughter wanted one. I'm like, no.
So I guess it's on me now. Okay.
Yep, it's on you, Dan.
I'll tell you what I really miss. I miss my mom. She passed away a couple of years ago, and life just hadn't been the same since. That's what I really miss. But, I miss the old times too. Like, to me, 70s and 80s were the great, I miss getting my smokes for 69 cents a pack. Yes. I miss gas being 89 cents a gallon. I miss people seem to be a lot happier in them days than they are now. Mm-hmm. Families seem to be more important than they are now back then. I agree with all that. That's the stuff I miss the most personally. But y'all were talking about lost treasures. Yeah. And I don't know if you ever heard this story or not, but during World War II, the Germans went into Russia and they captured this room called the Amber Room. And it was this whole room made with amber, encrusted with diamonds and emeralds and rubies. It's said to be priceless in value. And they loaded it on a train and they took it to Germany and they put it in a castle. And for years during the war, you could go there and see it. But at the end of the war, when the Russians were moving in, they packed this Amber Room up and carried it off on a train and it disappeared. And to this day, the Amber Room has never been found. And they say it would be one of the most priceless things in existence today.
Yeah, I've read a lot about the Amber Room. It is fascinating.
And it's beautiful, too, if you ever saw the pictures.
Yeah, I'm going to see if I can download the picture. I did have some that I thought that I had downloaded to my computer. Oh, here, I got one. Give me a second, Dan, and I'll show it for you. Here you go.
Yep.
And that is one beautiful room, right?
It's elegant. Yeah. I think it's gaudy, but I mean, it is very fancy.
It comes apart in like 5-foot panels and snaps together like a puzzle. So you can disassemble it and reassemble it in other rooms in different places.
But just imagine all like the gold work and oh my gosh, all the valuable gems and the detail that went into building this room. That's crazy.
So to me, that's probably the most important lost thing from World War II when people were talking about that stuff. Even though a lot of art and stuff did disappear at that time and has never turned up to this day.
There's Da Vinci's mural. Da Vinci's mural. Yeah, that's cool too.
That's the more of that stuff that disappeared in World War II?
No, not from World War II. Just you were talking about art.
Oh.
And have you guys heard about the 137 karat Florentine diamond?
No, I'm not familiar with that. I don't think.
This is 137 karat Florentine diamond. It is yellow in color. and it has vanished.
Yeah, they'll never see that again.
Yeah, it's probably in some old lady's jewelry box in Illinois.
No, dude, it's cut up into several different pieces at this point.
Yeah. Several pieces, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah, so
another to me is probably the greatest thing lost was when the Universal had them film warehouse fires in 29
Oh,
and
yeah.
55 and lost all the really cool old movie prints.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Like the original Lon Chaney movies and stuff. That to me, that's probably the greatest loss. They were original prints of films that'll never be seen again.
Right. Yeah, like what was that?
If Chance was here, he could tell us more about it.
Right. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
look at the lost city of Atlantis. They've been looking for that for years. Like they actually have like footage from like the sky, like from video satellite where they think that it is in the Sahara Desert.
Oh my God! Here we go with that.
It's crazy.
I gotta look for Atlantis in the desert. You guys are so right.
That desert used to be lush ground.
It was. Yeah.
I think there was a city there. I just don't know if I would call that city that desert that's got lost, Atlantis. Hey, look, Harper finally showed up. I sent him an invite hours ago.
Well, that was nice. Thank you, Harper.
Good to see you, Michael. Good to see you. He takes all my jokes and he takes them with heart. He's a tough guy.
Oh, that's cool. I think I'm getting behind in the chat too here. So I think all of us have went, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I want to say happy Father's Day also to everybody out there. I don't know. Can anybody tell me, is Chance still alive?
Of course,
He is still alive.
Okay,
He is on He's on Rocky 5 now.
Wow.
I guarantee
You got to learn Chance time. If he says an hour, it'll be 2.
Right.
Or 3.
Well, TD texted me and she said that she's not feeling well. She's not going to be able to make it. So,
No.
Well, that's a bummer.
Well,
yeah.
Since Danny's talking about movies lost, if I can interject, a lot of Ansel Adams' work was lost in a fire. A lot of the prints that we enjoy today, the black and whites of the parks out your way, Chrissy, those prints are not full prints because part of his negatives were burned.
Wow.
From what
That's all I had to say about Ansel.
Chance was telling me, all that stuff was on nitrate film and it went up really quick.
Yeah.
This is an interesting comment. So I have nostalgia for the Antarctic snow cruiser. It's my amber room. There you go. I thought that's a pretty cool comment. And he said, that's wild room. Reminds me of Hearst Castle, European, my mansion made by. Yes.
Hey, for the record, I think Atlantis, the lost city's under the ice in Antarctica.
Sarah's back.
That's what I
think. Could be very right. You could be very right there.
Yeah, if we don't know, we could all be right.
Because Plato said it sunk beneath the ocean. I think it sunk beneath the ocean and then it froze.
Well, has anybody ever seen that ancient map of Antarctica that actually shows it as land instead of ice? And it shows the map and everything?
Yeah. It was very accurate to the land mass of the continent, and it was hundreds of years before it was discovered.
And the fun thing about the Coral Reef map is it shows an island in the Bahamas called Bimini, and it shows the island as being bigger with a big stone road cut across it. And recently they discovered the Bimini Road in 65, that thing beneath the water.
Yeah.
But it's actually on an old map as a stone road across an island.
Yep.
Now, Danny, what was it the other night you were talking about that they found for NASA or something that was in an old restaurant basement?
Oh, yeah. Everybody talks about the lost NASA tapes, the lost Apollo tapes, the moon landing tapes. Well, recently they were doing demolition. I think, I have to look it up again. I think it's in Chicago on a restaurant, and they were doing a demolition. They went down in the basement of the restaurant, and for some reason, in the basement of I think it was a McDonald's they were tearing down from the '60s. And in the basement of this restaurant, they found 2 fully operational giant NASA computers and 300 tapes, some of which are believed to be original Apollo moon landing tapes.
Oh.
But they still haven't transcribed them to find out what's on the video yet. So
this comment on the screen says, "Remember when they found old Doctor Who episodes in a barn? Previously lost, found in a barn."
There was a house out in the Midwest somewhere that was originally owned by someone who owned a movie theater, and they used the posters from the movies that they played in their theater as cheap insulation. So all of these posters were packed in between the studs in the home. And then decades later, somebody bought the home and they were remodeling. And when they took the wall down to start to expand, they found all of these pristine movie posters from back in the day and made a lot of money.
People actually find treasures in old houses all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. I remember when we remodeled one of the houses that we lived in, and my grandpa pulled the sheetrock off, and there was like the little tiny, like, what is it, the shiplap on the inside of the wall, and there was an old Jack Daniels bottle and a pack of cigarettes and like an old, like, kind of, I wouldn't say like porn, but it was a risque magazine in the wall.
I had an aunt pass away. She was like 100 and something. Her name was Becky. By the way, I'll dig them out and show you some pictures of Aunt Becky back in the 1920s, and it'll blow your mind because she was an exotic dancer. But back then, the exotic dancers, they'd give them a silver dollar. I don't know if you heard the story about silver dollars and exotic dancers, but
Go ahead and tell us, Dan.
No, it's a family show. But anyway,
I guess I don't know the story. So
Aunt Becky passed away. I'm telling a story as nice as I can. I'm using words like exotic dancer. Well, anyway,
thank you, Dan.
She was an exotic dancer in the 20s, and they paid them for dancing with silver dollars. Lots of silver dollars. And when she passed away at 107, I inherited her house, basically, me and my wife at the time. So we moved into the house and we were remodeling it. And in a loose floorboard in a den, we lifted it up and they were these coffee cans. And they were like almost $10,000 in really old silver dollars from back in her dancing days of old.
She had a lot of silver dollars.
She had a lot of silver dollars. She must have I think
Bless
she
her
did.
heart. Bless her
So
heart.
she was an accomplished
I've actually got
dancer.
pictures of her and her sister from that era still to this day.
Yeah, Jim, it sounds like it. She was an accomplished dancer. For sure.
It's funny that when I knew Aunt Becky, she was a sweet little old woman at the cookout, 100 and something years old, talking about her time as a nurse in World War I and a nurse in World War II and all this stuff, right? How she in Korea and Vietnam. She was a nurse in like 4 wars and got up to colonel. She's like Hot Lips Houlihan, And apparently she was like Hot Lips Houlihan because I found pictures.
She had a lot of silver dollars.
Yeah, well, I found pictures after her after she passed away of her life that nobody had ever seen, and apparently she was a lot like Hot Lips Houlihan. But she was in 4 wars, and she was kind of a military hero in the family. We were all proud of her until we found out in pictures.
Well, I think I still would have loved her anyways because
we did. She was great. I hated it when she passed away.
I'd have just been like, "You go, Auntie."
Well, you see, she got disabled and she couldn't walk no more, and the family was like, I'm not going to go there, but they wanted to put her in a handicapped, disabled home hospice thing, and she was just totally losing it on account of that. And she called me up and asked me could she stay with me. And I didn't have the heart. I didn't have the heart to tell her no. So for 11 months, from instead of hospice, me and my sons took care of her. 110%.
Really nice, Dan.
She passed away in my living room.
It's
But
not.
she never spent one day in public health care or hospice or none of that stuff.
That's
That's a
Family,
kind.
blessing.
family took
And
care of her.
there you go. That is something that you lost that you still cherish. It's her
And I never knew,
memory.
and honestly, when I let her come stay and everything, I never knew nothing, never asked her for nothing. I was just helping out a family member. But I found out after she passed away that she left everything she owned, bank accounts, houses, everything to me and my wife.
Aw, that's
That
good, Dan.
she had changed her will and not told nobody about it.
Well, you were the one taking care of her in the end.
Yeah, but I never expected none of that. So,
Well, no, you
but
don't.
when she passed away, we went to the house, and it was like this ancient house in Greenville, and it was huge. And we decided, hell, let's just clean it up and live here because it's ours and it's paid for, and there won't be no payments or nothing like that. So we moved into the house and lived there from 97 to 2006 when I gave it to my son.
Nice.
After his mom passed away, my wife, she died. And after she passed away, I gave the house to my son and his wife and their kids and moved on.
Nice. We have a comment that says BBC used to destroy their recordings. They'd keep the audio and some photos to stick onto the reels, but they would destroy their recordings and just didn't they just keep recording over the same? They would just keep recording
Tape.
over top the same
Right.
tape, yeah, or the same film.
Lost a lot of Johnny Carson to that.
Exactly. And that was actually a really big TV practice back then, that they would just record over the tape. So there's a lot of stuff because of that.
We needed
practice.
Chance alive back then so he could start saving stuff.
I know, right? Because Chance would still have original copies. I agree, Jim. And then we have, we never appreciate anything that exists in the present day until it's gone.
Cool.
Yeah, sometimes that is accurate. I think a lot of people feel like that is very similar. We have Judgment is from
Pudding.
Virginia.
Pudding pops were the best.
Pudding
Yep.
pops.
And a lot of things that we used to say or used to be in songs, kids today wouldn't have a clue what it means. Jim Croce, operator, putting more money into a payphone. Most kids today wouldn't have a clue about that. Just the saying itself, I'll drop a dime on you, meaning that you'll, make a
Payphone.
phone call to the police.
Payphone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's nobody would know what that means anymore.
How about around the Rosie?
Language evolves, y'all, rather quickly.
And I can't remember the song that's by the Motels, and that too would be something they, wouldn't make sense in today's world. People just, because they're not exposed to payphones and not having a cell phone and not being in touch with people constantly. I mean, it's amazing how the communications has changed. And I'll be quiet.
You don't have to be quiet. You're doing great.
Well, I don't want to hog the show. It's not my job.
No, but you're not hogging the show, and you're speaking about things that, like, you're one of the older ones on the panel. You know a lot of things that have been lost in time.
Oh no, I'm not one of the older ones. I'm the oldest.
Well, I was trying to be polite there, Jim. Like, I didn't want to just blast you out on YouTube. You're old. Like, no.
I'm just gonna be factual. I am the oldest, and I am proud to have been here 67 years.
Right?
Trust
you
me.
have a lot to say, and that's valuable to me. So I want you to tell us about things, Like, I totally miss drinking out of the garden hose. Like, what happened to that?
Yeah, we used to do that all the time, and
I
now
know.
people think it's crazy if you drink out of a hose.
Dirty. No, it's not. I grew up with a garden hose. Like,
some of the some of the toys I had as a child would
Mm.
never make it on the market these days. You know, that tripod machine gun that I had when I was 7 years old. It would fire plastic bullets across a room, and these days people would be afraid of losing an eye or worse, and rightly so.
I had a little wooden dog with big red wheels instead of feet and weird little flappy ears. Its name was Snoopy. That went on a string, and I'd pull it behind me. It'd go wah, 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 like a duck
Yep.
or some stuff. It was weird, but yeah, nobody'd buy that now.
Does anybody else remember clackers?
Yes.
I
It
love
was
those
like
things.
it was like two glass balls on a rope, and you'd sling them
Acrylic.
up and down, and
Yeah,
they
clack,
smack
clack,
into
clack,
each
clack,
other
clack,
and
clack, clack,
explode.
clack, clack,
Yeah,
clack. Used to drive my parents
and
crazy.
you get it going so hard that they would break and pieces would fly everywhere.
Oh
You
yeah,
know,
dangerous as all get out.
a little chlorine in the gene pool.
Yeah,
Hmm.
absolutely.
I don't know. When I was like 12, 13 years old, I went to this thing called the Jockey Lot, the world's biggest flea market down here in Anderson, South Carolina. And
Been there.
I had samurai swords and throwing stars and BB guns that run on gas and could shoot through car doors and all kind of horrible weapons for a kid.
Yep.
We had BB gun wars. I mean, we shot
Yeah,
at each other
oh
with
God,
rubber
I've
guns.
had to dig BB guns out myself so many times. And little BBs hurt.
Now, I've been in bottle rocket wars before.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're lucky to have our eyes, all of us.
Roman candle wars.
Roman, yes.
That
Roman,
too.
I created the bottle rocket bazooka. It was this long Christmas cardboard tube with a slot cut out. You'd put the bottle rocket in it and light it, and you could hold it and aim it and just hit people right square anywhere you want it to.
Hmm.
It was horrible.
Hey,
Just
Jim,
horrible.
I'm gonna send you guys a private message in the private chat just to give you a heads up. And I have our featured channel this week. We could do I can
Yeah,
actually,
let's
yeah, let me
let's do that while we're reading.
yes, please.
That was handled, Chrissy.
Okay, because I didn't see anything and I was going up and down and I'm like, what did I miss? It got
Somebody
whacked.
got to it quick.
Oh,
Somebody
it got
got to them quick. Yep.
got whacked.
Where's
Okay,
43?
Colt
Oh, there he is.
43, Tuesday exact. I love that song. Okay. All right. Featured channel. Make sure I got the right one this week. Like, I don't know. I have been so busy. Like, I've got to make sure. So give me a second. And if this is last week's, then I'll play it again in a minute because I have it done. I just don't know if this is the one I downloaded. So here we go. There we go. That's our featured channel, Unapologetic Geek. It's an amazing channel. I absolutely love his intellect and like how he gets into like, and he'll stick on one thing, like one movie or one topic that he talks about, and and it's awesome. And there's so much revealed watching. I like it. Dan, you guys, you and Jim both watch him, right?
Who was that?
Oh yeah.
The
Absolutely.
Unapologetic Geek.
Yeah, I love Doug.
Will you talk
Matter of
about
fact-
Doug for a minute?
Matter of fact, I went back just like the last 4 days and watched some of his old videos. Just stuff and a couple of things I missed.
Mhm.
Yeah, he's got so much information. You know, he always puts so much information into his videos, like where he just has you learn so much from the time that you start watching to the time that his live is over or that you watch one of his videos. I like his channel a lot. So when I was doing the when I was doing the the video for him. When I was doing the video for him to say, hey, you know, I'm making you my featured channel this week. I was going through all of his videos and I was watching his videos and I'm like, wow, Tug, this is awesome. Like I've seen a few of his things, but I never took that much time, like watching and watching and watching and watching and watching. So I went through like quite a bit of time watching, but yeah, it was a really good channel. So, and do you guys have, if you guys have recommendations for me, this is really important to me, as my panel that, and as out my friend, that if you guys have some channels out there that you would like to see featured, let me know. Like, tell me what channels you recommend so I can feature some more channels and go check them out and actually do like a feature for them. Because I think that YouTube doesn't hand us anything. We have to work for it. And coming together as we have as a community of other YouTubers is really amazing. So I want to continue to do that. And let's bring some new people in.
And some of us have multiple channels to feature anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you guys want to blast out your channels? You can blast out your channels. Tell me, like,
I said some of us do.
Yeah. Like, yeah, if you guys have more than one channel, like, let me know too. Cause like, I know Snarky, you do, and I know Dan does. I know Lobo's just getting started tomorrow, and Jim, you just have your one. And thank you, Corey. I'm shouting out Corey. Yeah, we have to come together. Like Corey always says too, you know, YouTube doesn't hand us things. We have to work together and give ourselves an advantage by coming together, getting to know each other. Like, you know, like when you watch like Cheers or Friends or one of those sitcoms that you always like to watch, Seinfeld, you always have your favorite little characters, or you know the quirks of the people that are, you know, on the show. And I think that that's kind of like what we do in an aspect of all of us kind of have our own personalities, our own little quirks. Yeah, quirks. Our little quirks.
It's a quirky bunch.
There's actually an old TV show named Quirk.
Really?
Quark. No, whatever.
Quirky.
I remember Mork and Mindy. Nanu. Like I remember.
This is older than that.
Older than that.
Yeah.
Corey says he started at the bottom and then he sank. Corey, you're not at the bottom. You're rising. You're slowly rising. You're coming up. I'm coming up. You're doing it.
Think about it this way, Corey. Your channel's growing faster than your hair.
Wow.
I'm sorry, Corey. That is funny. Thank you, Dan. That is funny. Corey, you.
Oh, he loved it. He'll use that joke.
I'm sure he will.
Yeah.
That was adorable. See, he's laughing.
I'll hear about it on a live stream this weekend.
He's laughing. There you go. Right there.
Corey, for what it's worth, I resemble that remark.
You resemble that remark. I love that.
I could have made a better remark if it wasn't a G-rated show. Womp, womp, womp. Keep thinking about it. Keep thinking. There it goes. It's sinking in. She got it just now.
It might not
Right
obvious.
there is what you call it in your window.
I know, right?
Yeah,
That
comic journey.
Oh,
That's hashtag after show.
Yes, hashtag after show. You are accurate. Accurate, Jim.
Where's the hashtag after show? Where are we going?
Backstage.
Backstage.
That's not after show. That's
It'll be-
backstage.
After show.
I was thinking about going live.
You know,
There you go. Let us know.
After
South Carolina,
dark.
by the way, Jim, is that hot up there? Because South Carolina is experiencing the heat wave of the year. Record temperatures. It hit 96 degrees today. It's here in South Carolina, it's 10 o'clock at night, and I swear it's 86 degrees out here, 85 degrees.
Yes, 49 here.
Danny, that's why I moved back to North Carolina. It's too hot down there. About half an hour ago, it was 75 here.
Wow.
You up in the higher elevations?
Not that high, and right now it is 70. I'm at the foothills. I'm not in the mountains, but I'm
I'm
right
at the
at the.
foothills. I'm not in the mountains, but I'm at a higher elevation.
You're further south latitude wise, so that's why you're so warm. In Boone, North Carolina, the other morning it was 46. Not yesterday morning, but day before.
You know, I like it here because June, July, and August it gets hot, and late December, January to mid February it gets pretty cold. But the rest of the year is usually 78 or 68, and it's really kind of cool and moderate with a lot lower humidity than the rest of the area.
Well, December and January down there is fantastic. I mean, it's not
No,
that
I
cold.
wouldn't say January is too fantastic unless you really like freezy cold weather.
You
Around
you
about
come up
the second week in January, we get sometimes 0 or -2 degrees.
you come up here and find out how much colder it is. We're usually 5 to 10 degrees below what you are.
Hey, I did winters in Ohio, I did winters in Canada, and I did winters in Alaska. Yeah, I know cold weather really well. That's why I stay south.
Don't be scared. Comic Journey is gonna
do-
be all right.
It got so cold here this winter. I actually thought about heading down to Florida for a while. Like
Wow.
not just top of Florida. I'm talking about down to Miami or somewhere where it was really warm, like 80 degrees in December and January. I was
That's
so sick
too
of the
hot.
cold. I was so sick of the cold this year. It was freezing. It was 86 degrees out here at night, and I'm still happier in this than I was at freezing cold. Ugh, it wouldn't go away.
Yeah. You know what? I don't miss. I know that we're talking about things that are lost.
Oh
I
yeah.
do, but I do not miss being in cold weather training in the Navy. I do not. Up by Russia. I hated it.
I bet.
I hated it.
I don't miss acid rain.
Uh,
Sorry.
you rich. Oh, you rich.
If we're finished, if we're running low on things to talk about that we missed, I did come across one thing that's kind of was missing, found, but then it took decades to figure out what it was. The
Please.
I'll be right
anti-cathedra.
back. I got to go find a charger real quick.
Okay, Dan.
Okay, the anti-cathedra mechanism. It was found on a ship underwater, and for decades they didn't know what it was, and then they finally got the technology to X-ray and do MRIs and stuff like that, and they figured out that it was an analog computer that would predict where the planets and the moon and when there's going to be eclipses and such.
Right. That's
So
cool.
I thought that was kind of interesting. That, like I said, it was lost because it was underwater for centuries. I'm pretty sure it was Greek, and it took them so long to figure out what it was once it was found.
Well, I think that I had read. Okay, I'm not 100% like how accurate all of this is, but the Ark of the Covenant, like that is something that has been a mystery for years. Like, and they say that the 10 Commandments are inside it or something. Like, I don't know. It's
Well,
crazy.
there's a place in Africa, in Ethiopia, where they say that it is, but they don't let anybody in. There's only one person guarding it.
Mhm.
And there is a history of the Jewish people migrating to that part of Africa. So, I mean,
That would
there's
make
a lot
sense.
of,
Yeah.
it makes sense, but it's not proven.
Right. But it would make sense that they would take it there to hide it because it wouldn't be close to or near.
That one guardian that guards it until they die,
Mhm.
die of radiation poisoning with their eyes gone blind, whited over.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Yep.
there's a theory that it is a some kind of power device. It's a nuclear powered device, like a giant battery, a nuclear battery.
Mm-hmm.
And when people take off the lids, and the Bible describes how they die, it's the exact symptoms, like Snarky said, radiation poisoning, how the skin blisters and how everything happened to them. It's the exact symptoms of radiation poisoning when they take the lid off the Ark of the Covenant to look in it.
I mean, even the crazy stories of people carrying it. Well, you know, these guys have to pick it up and carry it in this litter or whatever, but if you come around and touch the wrong part,
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
I think that besides things like movies, like, because I know that like Bruce Lee, like I was saying the other night, like there's a Bruce Lee movie that when he
Bruce.
died, that part of the movie was lost, and then they recently have found it. Like I think it was 2019 that they recovered it, and they found, yeah. But there's things that have been very memorial that have been lost, and like if you think about it, for Father's Day, I'd like to say, what about all the military people that were lost over the years of just the wars and different things that have happened in society as a whole? But I mean, that is a loss, and things that have been lost, and families moving, like, because like a lot of the people that were lost had children, and they didn't get to know their dads or their moms. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Remember the Alamo.
there you go.
Yeah.
Tombstone. And thank you, Corey. I'm trying to get through the comments, but they're kind of confusing tonight. I don't know why they're confusing.
Corey, thanks for reminding everybody to hit the thumbs up and subscribe.
Up thumbs for everyone.
Corey says, I would get so cold in Wyoming, I had a blowtorch under my nose just to sneeze.
Oh dear.
Alpha, beta, gamma, delta. What?
I
I don't know. But I think
don't know either.
I don't know, but I think that this one right here, the Japanese swordsmith, like,
Hey,
this
Fat Daddy.
fascinating artifact that has gone missing, and like so many other things. Like I have a couple pictures I'm going to show here real fast. Let me scroll up there. Okay, so we've Leonardo da Vinci's manuscripts missing. Those would have been very valuable because of all of the knowledge and things that were created under that man, and that could have been developed from his manuscripts. And I love his manuscripts, how he is so detailed in his manuscripts, like the versions of what show that could be his manuscripts. And of course, Da Vinci mural. We've already talked about the Amber Room and the Florentine diamond. And this is a missing letter from Jack the Ripper. So these are things that have come up missing over time. So does anybody else have anything that they'd like to talk about of things that have come up missing?
There's kind of a tangent to that diamond. The Hope diamond that's on display in DC. It is a fraction of its original size, because tracing it back through history, each owner would have it cut slightly different, so it would be unique to them. So the Hope diamond is a lot smaller than it was originally. And also, many people say it has changed in color because of how they have recut it.
So you basically, its origin, it was big, and then it just slowly.
Right. much larger. And each owner, before it got donated to the Smithsonian, each owner would have it, cut in a slightly different way, just so that it would be unique to them, because they never thought about keeping the original. They just wanted something unique to them.
Yeah. Yeah, and cutting technology and aesthetics and everything that changes and progresses.
So technically, we don't have the original Hope Diamond.
I mean, we do. It's just not in its original form.
It's not in its original form at all.
I wonder how many pieces of jewelry are floating around out there with little pieces of the original Hope Diamond on.
I know, right? That's what I was just wondering. Yeah. Like, I thought that was crazy thought too. Like, I was like, gosh, I wonder how many. Yeah, exactly.
Never know.
And you don't have a way. I mean, they could, I'm sure, do like a DNA test of some sort of, or a mineral test to see if.
But yeah, exactly.
Yeah, a mineral test
or something. Yeah.
Yeah, a mineral test to see if it was actually the same makeup of what.
Well, somebody would have to know what they have to bring it in to get it tested, and I'm sure nobody that has any of that jewelry with the little pieces in it would even think that came from the Hope Diamond.
Yeah, they don't even know. They don't even know.
That'd be a pretty hard DNA test of diamond anyway.
Well, I didn't mean DNA. I didn't mean DNA. I meant the mineral test that goes into
the test. Yeah.
I know that works with certain metals, but I'm not sure that works with diamonds.
I just thought of something that we all missed.
Don't know.
We all missed some very important stores that we no longer have. Radio Shack, Sears,
Blockbuster,
Montgomery Woolworths. Yeah. Woolworth.
Yeah. Well, there is a historical Woolworth in Greensboro from the city in the 60s.
Did anybody else know Magic Mart?
Kmart's. I don't know of any Kmart's left.
Kmart's gone, buddy.
Huh. The Blue Light Special.
Yeah, I worked at Kmart, and I was working with them when they took the lead from Sears, and Kmart corporate made a big deal over that.
You sound like Dave Sunstorm.
Hey, Colt, I see you.
So there's probably other stores.
I invited Dave Sunstorm to come hang out tonight and stuff, but he went to a Nelson concert, which is apparently Ricky Nelson's kids.
Nice.
Yeah.
Like his twin sons.
Yep.
Oh, and all I got to say to that is, oh my God.
1991.
They were here last year, and I didn't get to go see them, but had I known ahead of time, yeah, I probably would have gone. I mean, I don't think tickets were like $40 or something like that.
I mean, actually, I think they're Tracy Nelson's twins. And Tracy is Ricky's daughter.
They told me Ricky Nelson's kids, so I don't know.
Yeah, I could be wrong because I have had a nip or two.
I don't really keep it. I remember when Nelson's was a famous band and popular, like White Line and all them other little girly bands. I didn't go see. Yeah, because I liked really hard metal back then. I liked, like Metallica.
I think they're big.
And Black Sabbath. I didn't really go see the girly bands.
I think they had one big hit. I Can't Live Without Your Love and Affection or something like that. But
I think so.
I would consider them a one-hit wonder.
Yeah,
I would consider them. I wasn't even aware they had a hit.
Where'd Snarky go?
It's a wonder.
Now we lost Snarky. Ah, there she is.
I said something bad about White Line and she left.
Oh, look at who we had join us.
I just whooped.
Hey, everybody. It's Chance and Sarah. Sarah's on the line. How's it going?
Hey, you finally went off, huh?
Hey, everybody. Take a chance. Take a chance.
Hey, I win.
So, Chance, we're talking about things lost. I'm going to go ahead and make you big because I'm sure you want to catch up.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah. Especially movies.
Lost in what regard?
We're talking about, so what we had already covered is lost as in traditional things that have lost, like lost sitting down at the dinner table, eating dinner, patriotism, the way it used to be. Also, we've talked about like
Cabooses.
cabooses on trains. We've talked about recipes, sort of recipes, like certain things. We did also talk about, let me show you, Jack the Ripper's letter, Leonardo da Vinci's manuscripts. The Florentine diamond, which is 137 carats, and how it's probably been broke down into smaller bits and pieces. And then we have Lost Da Vinci's mural and the Amber Room we covered.
I guess I'll go with the Ark of the Covenant then.
Yeah, we did mention that, and we mentioned that it, like Snarky said, people were getting like radiation poisoning and like radiation stuff from just opening it and being close to it or carrying it, or yeah, that's interesting. So go ahead into those facts.
Yeah, we just saying that real quick. We should have known that Chance would have went with an Indiana Jones movie plot.
Yeah.
Based on
Now-
the Bible, though. I mean, it's based in reality if you believe in the Bible.
Hey,
That's
fun fact.
true.
Hey, fun fact. Indiana was the dog's name.
I know, George Lucas's dog. And he talks about it in the making of Star Wars, which I have on film. He references his dog Indiana, and that's years before Indiana Jones was even written. I mean, Red Ark was even written. But,
Yeah, but we've been sitting here going, oh, if Chance was here, he'd tell. Well, we talked about all the film that burnt up.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Corey's got a good one about things that are lost.
His hair.
I was going to say that. She stole my joke.
No, he said it. Corey said it in chat.
Oh,
Why don't you go on with someone else just because I just
turned the chat on.
I need a break. No, I don't want to listen to. I'm going to get a drink, and why don't you take me off? And yeah, thank you.
Okay, well, we've all been talking.
While Chance is getting a drink, I'm sure he can hear us. And we were wishing that he was alive back in the 50s and 60s so he could have saved all the video and film that we've lost over the decades.
Oh, come on. I'm willing to bet somewhere in his house he has stuff that nobody else on earth has that he has already saved.
Oh, yeah. And he knows where it's at. That's what's amazing. I mean, you bring up a subject and he'll say, wait just a second. And he turns around and grabs it. I mean, it's amazing.
Oh, thanks, pal. Yeah, I can hear everything. I've got one. You don't have to make me big or anything. On a personal level, I think about all of my pets that I lost to time.
Oh, yeah.
Their lifespans are so much shorter than a human being's. That's the thing that hurts the most, is that curse, that, if you're lucky, I mean, you'll survive.
Take another drink.
I mean, I always say that just helps us to learn how to deal with grief and to appreciate the life because we know they're not going to live as long.
Right.
But we go ahead and love them anyway.
That's right.
That's why I started a channel called My Cool Dog, where I put my dog videos up. Is no matter what happens in the long run, I can always look back at my dog's life, and about every day there's a little video or a short or something, Sentimental thing.
And I've got one that you talked about last week, Danny, the lost first Dracula movie. In its entirety, it's lost. Huge chunks of it are lost.
Oh, wow.
That's a tragedy, too. Yeah, Umbrella's the first Jack the Ripper, the first Jekyll and Hyde, the first something else. The Hobbit, the first Hobbit movie. There's lots of the lost classics out there.
Yes.
All the
I don't want to be a big rerun. Of course, I think about film more than anything, film and video. We already talked about the lost Johnny Carsons, the lost game shows, the lost. I mean, we could obviously talk about lost talents, lost comedians. I mean, Bob Saget, that was sad what happened to him. Falling down in a hotel room and all of a sudden he's dead. That was a funny guy.
What about the movies that were lost in a fire, Chance? We were talking about them earlier, and everybody said Chance will know more details about that.
There's a lot. I mean, that I don't want to rehash what we talked about last week because we covered a lot of that. Well, I'm trying to think of something different. Like Lost treasure, lost gold. There are a lot of lost treasures in the sea and these pirate ships that were sunk. Can you imagine? I mean, our Earth is what 3/4 water on average, or more, or greater
70, 80%, something like that.
You know,
Unexplained.
Chance, you reminded me of something funny just now.
Atlantis. Hello, Atlantis, the lost city of Atlantis. If that was real.
Yeah.
You reminded me of something real funny, Chance, when you brought up Bob Saget. You know, my mom, she liked the old comedians like Don Rickles. You know, the ones that were in your windows, but not really dirty comedy. The ones you'd see on the Dean Martin roast. You know, a Buddy Hackett or Don Rickles or that other guy. Can't remember his name.
Red Skelton. Red Skelton could tell a clean joke.
Rodney Dangerfield.
Dangerfield was great, but he was a little dirty. But she liked the clean comedians, you know, Milton Berle. But
Uncle Milty.
Uncle Milty, you know,
he had the biggest member in Hollywood. I don't know if that's true. I don't want to know, but they say that's why the joke was he'd always have these young women on each arm, even in a Fall Guy cameo and
with a cigar and stuff. You know, because Uncle Milty was cool.
They say
anyway.
Very well
That's why he always had that grin on his face.
To continue, my mom liked the original old school comedians who were clean, and she was a big Full House fan. And I never will forget the day she called and said, "Hey, Bob Saget's coming to the Peace Center to do a comedy show. You think you could get a couple of tickets and we could go?" And I'm like, "Bob Saget, that's the guy from Full House." And she's like, "Yeah." I didn't even know he did comedy shows. She said, "Me neither. I can't wait." So I went and got tickets, and I took my mom to see it. And I never will forget sitting in that front row, watching Bob Saget say words that I've never heard. My mom even seen her say these words said before. My mom sat there half the show with her mouth drooped open and her eyes as big as silver dollars. And she's like, "I can't believe he said that. Oh, oh," she did this noise every little bit like, "Oh." The rest of her life, she never asked me to get her tickets to a comedy show again. I went to a lot of cooking shows that were pure torture, but never no more comedy.
That's like Red Fox. Anybody who's heard his stuff off TV, it's amazing that he was on TV and still funny, because off TV, there was nothing clean about his jokes.
I got to your point, Jim. I got this from a video store that went under. Red Fox in a plain brown wrapper from now defunct Vestron Video. This is a 1983 Las Vegas Command performance.
Wow.
Totally blue.
Wow.
Where you gotta go to bed there. You gotta wash your ass. I'm not the family show, so I'm family show. But
is it VHS?
Yeah, VHS.
Let me borrow.
I'd like to
watch it.
I have a machine. I can convert it to DVD if you can play DVD on a Blu-ray player and Xbox. It's hilarious.
I can play DVD, VHS, CD. I've got a little bit of everything.
Oh, and he could handle a heckler like nobody's business. Same with Richard Pryor. That's why I saw George Lopez. He walked off the stage like a little wussy because of a heckler. I mean, dude, grow a pair. You know, be like
my favorite comedian was Sam Kinison. Mm-hmm. I think of all time, that was a Sam Kinison guy. Well, you're familiar with him.
Yeah.
I miss Robin Williams more than one time every single day.
The funny thing about Sam was he was a prodigy child preacher.
Yeah.
Oh, I know all about Sam.
Yeah, I used to watch him as a kid.
He did a bit about Jesus. I can't even listen to it. It's very, very obscene, man. I mean, it's louder than hell. I'm not going to repeat it. It makes me wince when I hear that bit.
And he was a fire and brimstone preacher when he was a kid.
Well, let's kind of veer back toward more family oriented. But I agree with you. Sam was funny as all get out in some of his.
You want to talk about a more modern comic that didn't do a lot of dirty stuff or a lot of profanity, and that was Howie Mandel. His stage shows were hilarious, and And he did manage to keep it clean 90% of the time.
He did a lot of physical comedy.
Had to be.
You know who played Huey Hogg in Dukes of Hazzard? Huey Hogg,
Yeah.
Lost Dogs' nephew, Jeff Altman. Look at his stand-up. He was hysterical on Late Night with David Letterman, the NBC years, and he do a bit about his dad with the pants pulled all the way up, and his hands in his pocket. You know, he did great dad jokes. Enough said on that. High energy like Robin Williams. He's
a bald guy, right?
No, he had hair.
Oh,
We should tell Corey about that guy so he can look him up and get some funny jokes about that.
Corey's got some funny jokes. Corey's got some good delivery. That's what makes his jokes funny. He can deadpan the best of anybody I know.
I got a lost item for you that I love. The Jell-O. We're not talking about Bill Cosby, but the Jell-O pudding pops. They were so good.
what
Oh, yeah.
did I say? What did I say?
Yeah,
Snarky
I've been
brought that
saying
up.
Snarky
pudding
on
pops
them
since
pudding
we
pops,
got
too.
here.
Really? You already mentioned it. Well, we're on the same wavelength.
You are, baby.
Snarky, if you come over, I'll give you a Jell-O pudding pop.
You just made it nasty.
Oh, what? I just said to give you a Jell-O pudding pop.
Sarah hung up. I think her phone's overheating. She texted me. Yeah, there she goes.
Sarah
You don't
lost
like-
her AC
you don't like-
and all of her electronics.
Jokes.
But I thought she was gonna move. Why is she staying in that hellhole?
She's just having problems getting moved. She got her truck fixed today, but her AC went out
In her home or in her truck?
In her home.
in her home.
Oh,
And
In
it's
her
like,
home.
it's like burning up
Yeah.
in California too. It's really hot in some parts.
she said her cousin got the Wi-Fi in a hotspot and redeemed himself.
Yeah, but the
And
hot
then-
spot is her phone. So her
Oh.
phone is having to pull double duty.
Right.
So,
it's
the
overheating.
poor girl has had a week, and with no AC, her electronics are going to overheat even faster.
I know this.
Logan, you know here?
Yeah.
Haji, come here. You see what this is? It's saying, you know what's going to be in 30 years? It's going to be sad! Sorry, I had to do it.
Thank God
Oh
I
my
got my
goodness.
volume down.
My goodness. No snails in my ears, thank goodness.
Corey says, too kind. Thanks, Jim.
Yeah.
I just call it the way I see it, Corey. Just the facts.
Like Jack Webb.
Honestly,
That's
I don't
what I
think in
thought.
30 years I'm going to be much worried about the weather. It's probably going to be at least
I-
about
I like the Jack Webb comment, but I hope I'm a little less dry than he is.
wah, wah, wah.
I'm looking for it. Did I miss it? I had to help my mom real quick, so I might have missed it. Let me go back.
How long are you going tonight, Chrissy? 2 hours? Try to keep it to
Yeah,
two?
so we have 30 minutes. But if you have something, go ahead. Do
No,
it.
no. I have Father's Day plans tomorrow, so I'm going to have an early night. So good. Perfect. That's perfect.
And I'm sticking
It's
it
20. It's 23
Hey,
minutes to the top of the hour.
right.
I did not know. How many kids you got, Chance?
None. I'm celebrating with my father.
Oh.
Samantha had to have I shouldn't put this on the web. Never mind. Just forget it.
You could be the smartest man I've ever met.
When we were planning a family, she had a medical problem. I'll leave it at that.
So I
Hey,
don't.
Hey,
Okay.
if I hadn't had to pay
We're
so much
looking at
child support, I'd have as many comic books as you.
Yeah, we were looking at adoption. But anyway, that's another story.
Well, I think Jim doesn't have any kids either. Like Jim and
That is very true. I learned at an early age.
Don't worry,
I-
guys. I want you to know I had enough for all of us.
You go right ahead.
I had it covered.
I learned about preventative measures at an early age.
I'm a bunny daddy, but that doesn't count, I guess. But I was gonna say BK on the air, Barry King, he didn't have any kids, and he's been married 3 times.
I've been married 3 times, but I got 7 kids.
You got me by
I did have 8 kids, but one of them passed away.
My husband's supposed to have
Sorry.
11, but I think that 4 of them are fictional.
Now, my grandmother had 13 kids.
I
Things
had a
that are
Cabbage
lost.
Patch doll. Does that count? I had a Cabbage Patch kid. Not really. That's a girl thing. I'm just being
I had
stupid.
like 20 of them, but I was a full grown adult. I was working in the flea market and I kept finding red-headed Cabbage Patch babies, and I always wanted a red-headed baby, so I'd get all of them. And I had like 20 red-headed Cabbage Patch babies.
My dad was really old, and he had 6 kids before he met my mama. They had me. I was his 7th son born, and then after he broke up with my mom, he went to Ohio, got married again, and had 7 more kids. So I've got
Yiggity
pretty
biggity.
Sarah
Like
said
you,
she
brothers.
also has no kids. So there you go.
I mean, technically, my kids are grown up, so nanny, boo boo.
Mine too.
We're going to brunch. We're going to breakfast brunch tomorrow. I'm gonna.
Are
Nice.
we?
Tomorrow.
I'm
Father's
actually
Day.
going to barbecue with my sister, and I'm going to do my 6-hour slow smoke ribs.
Everybody in my family pretty much all went to the beach for Father's Day weekend down at Myrtle Beach. And I chose not to go because I didn't want to miss the show.
I had
But
ribs
Aw.
today.
I'm spending all weekend pretty much, well, except for one son and two kids that didn't quite make it. They're not doing well. Everybody else
You told us why you didn't go. You told us the real reason you didn't go.
I've had enough. If these 2 and other kids had been feeling well, they'd be gone too. Oh well, can't win them all.
Now, Lobo, you have what, 6 kids?
6, yes.
Yeah, 6. I was going to say.
From 34 to 12.
Yikes.
Spread them out, buddy.
Lobo's busy.
Yikes.
Lobo's like Dan. He's busy.
Yeah, but I'm older. My youngest one's only just turned 17 and graduated high school, and
Holy smokes. Keepers, y'all.
and based on her grades and her what do you call it, the how good you did in school. I don't know what you call that because I didn't even finish high school. But based on her grades and stuff, she got scholarships to 15 different colleges, her choice.
Nice.
Excellent. Excellent.
Sarah's saying good
I
night.
went back to
She's got
college
everything
later
wrong.
on, and took courses, but I never graduated high school ever.
Night, Sarah.
Night,
Night,
Sarah.
Sarah.
Night, Sarah.
Nice.
Where's Lobo at?
I'm right here.
Lobo's there.
Did
right
you get your
next to-
package? It shows it was delivered for your grandson.
Yeah, it delivered today at my door. I had to have my wife leave work to go get it for the kids next door took it.
All right. Kid,
They
stole it. They stole
No,
it.
no, but they would. So my wife had to leave work and go pick it up, and put it in the house.
Good. So you
You
can
want to
surprise.
teach them a lesson? You go get you a bunch of dog poop and put in an envelope and leave it sitting on the porch addressed to you and stuff, and they'll come steal it. And they'll be all happy when they get their surprise.
Have any of
No.
you guys seen the glitter bomb that they do for people
Oh,
stealing
yeah, that's
packages?
a little dangerous.
Yeah, he's great.
That's amazing.
It's
I-
funny,
Yeah,
but it's dangerous because you never know what's
Fart
going to happen
spray.
with your eyes.
Yeah, fart spray.
Yeah, I like the
and
paint bombs
the
too.
police.
And phones all the way around it, recording
Yeah.
everything.
And then the police banter that goes on. Like,
Oh,
Yeah, the light. Put your
I
hands
love
up.
it.
Come out with your hands up. I love it.
That's
You can. It's just fun fact. You can email that guy and he'll send you one of them and tell you how to set it up on your porch and everything for free.
Huh.
Really? I didn't
Yeah.
know that was cool.
Yeah,
I really like the watching that. It's hilarious. It always makes me laugh. I love anything that has to do with like criminals stuff.
because when the phone comes on and all that stuff happens, it's being moved. It goes to his phone and he gets to record all that for his YouTube channel. So
Okay.
he let you set it up for free and he'll send you everything.
Well,
Huh.
I might just have to do that.
But you need to be somewhere where they actually steal your packages a lot, you know?
Yeah.
I live in Northern California, so we do have some porch thieves, some porch pirates around.
Exactly my point. And I learned a long time ago, if you're going to be doing YouTube and eBay and everything, and you get lots of packages, get a post office box. Don't have
Yeah.
it on your front porch. It's just as
Yeah.
much your fault as theirs when they steal your stuff if you're stupid.
Yeah.
Sorry. Nothing personal.
That's fine.
But get a post office box. Good God, don't have your stuff sitting on the front porch and nobody gonna take it.
No.
On your front porch or on your mailbox, either one.
Well, I've got a mailbox, but I don't get my mail in the mailbox. My roommate does, and if anything ever gets stolen, it'll be their stuff, not mine, because I get my stuff at a post office box. I know it's going to be safe when I finally get there to get it.
Lobo, Keebler says you need a TV or hobby.
I got a hobby. Apparently.
Yeah, obviously. Making babies.
Yeah, well, might not be done yet.
Oh
I
my
used to
God.
have a really good hobby that didn't involve you two. I'd go fishing a lot, but I blowed my knee out. And I just can't get out there and go fishing like I used to.
Oh, remind me of that when we get backstage. I have something to say.
Okay. We got it. Chance, you got anything? Because we're coming up on like
Oh, there were some comments
Yeah.
on this show.
it's okay.
Dang, on Facebook Live. Good comments. Oh well.
Well, we have a lot of lost people that have been in cinema too. Like my mom was asking me today, is so-and-so still alive? Is so-and-so still alive? Is so-and-so still alive? Like she's like, is Raquel Welch still alive? Is Sophia Loren still alive? And I'm just like looking up these people. So that's also something that we've lost over time is really good actors, actresses, singers like Elvis.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
I cry.
yeah.
I cry.
It's funny because you actually feel like you know them when you watch them on TV
Yeah,
so much.
they're a
You
part
feel-
of you. They're
Yeah.
a part of you.
Like I
Part of
miss
your
Patrick
growing up.
Swayze.
And part of your everything. Yeah.
I loved Patrick Swayze. And like you said, Snarky, I did hear you, even though I was helping my mom. Robin Williams was amazing. And I think he was
Where
great.
I cry at least once a week, and I think of him at least twice a day,
Right.
and I miss him.
Heart. Bless your heart.
And like, you know, Sam Kinison, like you guys said, he was awesome. Awesome. Like I
And
was
there's those people that you never saw but really influenced your life, like Charles Schultz.
right.
Charles.
And then-
Quit
Oh, I
texting.
love Snoopy.
Yeah.
The day that he died, I actually broke down because that was, I mean, such. I loved the Peanuts. I always looked forward to getting the Sunday paper, and I'd sit down and sprawl it out on the floor and lay there, and I'd read the Peanuts. And
Yeah.
the day that he died, that was just like part of my childhood, part of my memories. Just died with him.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think when Mr. Spock died, it messed with me a little bit. And the one that really got me though was like when David Bowie passed away, because I grew up on my whole life on David Bowie music. When I was a kid, I was jamming Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars.
There you go.
Yeah.
I thought he was great with Diamond Dogs. I've got the original album cover, Diamond Dogs. Where
Tom Petty
it's
got
a
a little bit too, I guess. Tom Petty, you know.
Uh-oh.
You're so young. Yeah.
The hell? No.
Um,
and he did a good job acting in movies. I thought he did a good job anyway.
mm-hmm. One of the things I miss, like from growing up, that is lost, is some of my grandma's recipes. Because when she passed away, she didn't write things down. She knew how to make it. She, with her hands, with her eyes, with the texture, with the taste and flavors. And when she passed, there are things that we don't know how to make, and that's sad because she always taught us how to make most of her recipes. But she had those few that just were her signature thing, but yeah, I remember also my great grandma. She used to make these amazing apple fritters, and when I was about 4 or 5 years old, we went and visited her in Pennsylvania, and she still had that old wooden stove that the cast iron pans would drop down into the holes in the top.
Yeah.
And so she used lard, and she just took like a big old thing of lard and threw it in the cast iron skillet, dropped it in there. And then with her hands, she just flour. And I try to remember, but I was so young, but she chopped up apples from their orchard and she threw it in there. And then she flour and water and cinnamon and nutmeg. And then she would just kind of drop them into the hot lard, like the hot oil. they were the best apple fritters ever. And still today, I cannot get for the life of me how she made those like that. But she just, in her mind, she just knew exactly boop, 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 boop. And but recipes, I think, are a huge thing that has been lost over time. Like back in the day, do you remember when banks used to give you a cookbook and churches, everybody would put all their recipes together and give out a recipe book for at the church, like for a fundraiser. And when you used to go to the bank, they used to always have fresh coffee, and they used to give you a gift when you opened a bank account. Like things that just have changed so much over time. It's crazy. Like how everything now is everybody's so much into their phones that they just keep passing life by. Like days are precious.
I was lucky. In the summertime when school was out, I spent a lot of time with my mom, and we traveled a lot, and I was helping her take pictures or whatever. But when school was in session, I pretty much stayed with my grandparents a lot. And when you live with grandparents, you learn stuff. Like when I was 7, 8 years old, Grandma had me helping her cook, and I actually learned to cook from my grandma. And then by the time I was 9 or 10 years old, she would assign me whole parts of the meal I had to fix myself, like make the pies this year, or make the dressing and the stuffing this year. And I got where I could just cook all that stuff. By the time I was 15 years old, I can cook anything you want me to cook.
Right. Like my grandma, she used to have me in the kitchen from the time that I could stand on a stool and stir the sauce. And she's full-blooded Italian. She came from Calabria, Italy. And so she taught me how to cook a lot of different things. And I remember like just, I don't need recipes for certain things. Like I literally just know by heart how to make it, how to put it together. Like, oh, you want lasagna? I don't need a recipe. Like I know exactly.
The recipe is not the problem. It's all the ingredients that goes in it. It costs $80 now.
Yeah, exactly. Or 120 just to make,
depends on where you shop. It's very expensive.
I kind of skim a recipe and see what's in it and then make it and don't worry about reading the recipe.
Right. Oh, this is a good comment. So do you remember in the olden days when you bought somebody a wallet and you'd never hand it to them empty? It always had money in it.
Yeah, I never got a wallet.
Oh.
You could never buy a knife. Yeah, there's a bunch of weird stuff like that.
I didn't know it had to come with money.
Yeah, it's bad luck if you get a wallet with no money in it.
I'd be happy to get a wallet at all. The one I got looked like it's about to fall apart. I need one now. If anybody, will send a wallet with some money in it, I'll be happy. I want to make a video about the bad my wallet's in. I've had that thing for years and years and years, and now I was noticing today it's starting to come apart at the seams. Oh God.
So Keebler, I went to a church. My grandfather was a Pentecostal minister that I grew up with. And my grandmother was the Sunday school teacher, and she played the organ and he played the guitar. And they would always take all the cookbooks, like they'd take all the recipes, like the whole entire church. All of the women and men would submit their favorite recipes, and then they would have like a little, like it was a spiral bound, but it was kind of like a plastic spiral bound kind of little flip book of all the recipes, and then they would sell it. And I have quite a few of those that my grandma left me. She left me like a couple totes of cookbooks, and there's a whole bunch of those old recipes in there that I just love. And I have some of my favorite ones. Like I have this recipe that was my grandpa's mother, and she was Dutch. And so one of my favorite recipes out of that cookbook that she had actually literally wrote down the recipe for is old-fashioned custard bread pudding. I absolutely love it. It is amazing. And the bread's not soggy. It's just kind of turns into cake. With like
I'm
layers.
so happy I made it through the show. Now, honestly, I feel like I got hit by a car.
Why? Did you did get hit by a car. You did.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say is I was walking through the Food Line parking lot Tuesday, and this little old lady not looking where she was going. And it's my fault too, because I was looking at the stupid phone trying to watch a live stream that I was missing because I was shopping. I was trying to get caught up real quick, and I was looking at the phone, not looking where I was going. She obviously wasn't looking where she was going, and she comes spinning out of her parking place and slammed into me and knocked me across the parking lot. Well, knocked me down, messed my elbow up and my hip and apparently my neck a little bit.
Oh no, there's some lingering effects of that accident. That's not good.
Yeah. So, well, you always sore. Like you never as sore when it happens as you will be 2 or 3 days later when you take a bump. I took plenty of bumps. I'm pretty sure that the only thing broke's my arm. You know, I went to the hospital.
Is your arm broken?
Well, I went to the hospital and got checked out because
Is your arm broken?
Because I was having some trouble. I got 2 hairline fractures on my elbow.
That's where it was all bruised last week?
Yeah, it's nothing. That happens all the time. That's no big deal, trust me.
You get hit by elderly women all the time.
No, but I get hit by cars more than you would think.
He gets hit on. He gets hit on by elderly women.
It wasn't my first rodeo getting hit by a car. And by the way, the last girl that run me over was 22 and angry at me because I was breaking up with her. But
you told
and I was 40 something, so it ain't always old ladies.
You just get ran over.
Yeah, but I have been hit by cars more than a few times.
Well, there's a Snickers commercial here. Feeling run down?
The only thing is, I've been in more car wrecks that were total loss than I have been hit by cars.
That's no joking matter, actually. I mean, I feel bad that you're having these health problems because of that woman.
I've been shot.
I'm wondering how many of you boys are jealous he gets run over for breaking up with 22-year-olds.
None.
And the fun part was the reason I broke up for her is she took me home to meet her mama. It turns out I dated her mama in high school.
That's right. You told that.
And it turned out to be a domestic situation. And she had vengeance by running over me with her Jeep.
Danny, you know that Greer is the worst drivers in the country.
What's that? Who's the worst drivers in the country?
Greer, South Carolina is listed as the worst drivers in the country.
I agree with that because the girl was from Greer.
There you go. And Greer's just a few minutes north of Danny.
So where's TD tonight?
From Greer. She was a Greer high school.
You missed it, Chance. You missed it, Chance. TD's sick.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. With what?
Yeah.
She said she's not feeling well.
Not feeling well, Chance.
There's a real bad bird flu going around right now.
Yeah.
They don't want to admit to it, but there is. Lots of people sick.
We can't say because of HIPAA rules.
Yeah.
There you go. That
don't make no sense.
It makes more than sense. The dad says homemade mincemeat sauce. My grandma's homemade mincemeat sauce. Oh, that I remember my grandma used to make a cranberry sauce at Thanksgiving. That was amazing, and it wasn't like anything else. It was like black cherry jello, and she would boil the cranberries, and she would do a black cherry jello, and then she would she chopped the cranberries too, so that they were like mixed into the jello. And so it was amazing cranberry sauce. And then when she would mix it all up, it was almost like, it wasn't like the jello like in pieces. It was like kind of pureed or almost.
They used to do some fancy stuff with jello.
I know they did. They used to do
some
jello
really gross
molds.
stuff too.
Tupperware had the most amazing jello molds. Like I sold Tupperware for a while. I love the Tupperware molds. The jello molds. Those things are awesome. You could do so much with them. And like I used to take a bundt pan and I would put my meatloaf in the bundt pan and then cook the meatloaf and take it out and then flip it over onto a tray, like onto a big platter. And then the mashed potatoes and gravy would go in the center and all my little candied carrots and vegetables would go around the outside. And I just put the whole thing down on the table.
Yep.
Like it was just, you could cut your meatloaf, get your mashed potatoes and gravy, get your little candied carrots or your green beans or whatever it was on the tray. But yeah, I miss those kind of days of serving a table, like my mom was talking about eating at the table and having family time. I miss preparing the meal and having the big serving bowls and making everything pretty for the table for your family to come sit down and pouring like Kool-Aid. Where's Kool-Aid?
Seems like all the people that used to do
that
passed away.
Yeah, I miss like doing that. Like I miss my grandma saying, go set the table. And I'd go set the table for dinner and we'd all sit around the table. And like my mom said, that was very special, and those kind of things are lost. And table manners are definitely gone because a lot of people don't have table manners. If you go to a restaurant, you're just like, what is going on? Like,
No, I did all that. I cooked every holiday meal and everything. Cook out on the 4th of July, Christmas dinner, Thanksgiving. Cooked every dish myself from 1994 to 2006. And then I said, well, guess what? I'm not doing that no more. Somebody else can cook from now on.
Yeah, that's long enough.
Yeah, I did my time. Once in a while, I still fix a dish or two to go with something we're having, but I don't cook a lot no more.
I'm making my dad dinner tomorrow, so I'm excited that we're gonna have a big family dinner. That's pretty cool. Like, I get all excited and very prideful. So I've already started. Like, I've already made my own dry rub and rubbed down the ribs, and they're already sitting and resting so that I could put them in the smoker. And I'm just way excited about that because that's special. Those little things like that.
Yeah, I have no idea what I'm eating tomorrow. Whatever it is, I'll have to fix myself. So. Because nobody else is around. But honestly, I'm thinking about just making me some spaghetti because I love spaghetti.
Oh yeah, we normally do spaghetti on Sundays. That's a tradition in my family. We always do some kind of pasta.
Honestly, that's usually if I have spaghetti, it's on a Sunday because that was my mom's big Sunday dinner when I was young. We always had spaghetti and meatballs.
Yeah, we would not just spaghetti and meatballs, but we would just do an Italian dish if it was lasagna.
Well, yeah, once in a while it'd be lasagna
or manicotti. Yeah.
100% of the time it would just be spaghetti with some meatballs, cheese.
Yeah.
Maybe some of them big garlicky breadsticks.
Yeah, or a big meatball sandwich with extra mozzarella cheese. Just like get in there.
I'd always save the meatballs and have the meatball sandwich like the next day.
Yeah, because they taste better because they
absorbed
all the flavor.
Exactly, I think so too.
Pasta in general always tastes better the next day because it absorbs all that flavor into it.
And on them days we have pizza, I'd always eat the cold pizza for breakfast the next morning.
Okay, I will order a pizza.
Wrong with me?
No, I will order a pizza and go put it in the fridge because I want to eat it when it's cold.
Well, when I get a pizza, I'll eat a couple of pieces of it once, nice and hot. Oh yeah, yum yum. Then I'll make sure I put it in the refrigerator so I can have it the next day when it's good and cold.
I like it for breakfast. Absolutely, with my coffee, cold pizza and coffee, perfect. It's amazing.
Everybody tell Corey good night.
Good night, Corey. Thank you, Jim.
Good night, Corey.
Logan says he doesn't know how my mom did it, but she always made her cranberry sauce look like the inside of a can.
Same here.
I resemble that remark.
I don't know how my mom did it, but it looked like the inside of a can. I love that. Like, that's nowadays. Like, my parents eat a lot of cranberry sauce from a can, and it's just kind of bloop, like Jello.
My grandma got mad at me because I told her I liked the canned cranberry sauce better than hers. Because hers had these little horrible pits or seeds or something in it that were so freaking irritated.
My grandma used to get her feelings hurt because the kids would always want the canned cranberry sauce. And she would always say, like, I made the best cranberry sauce. I was like, no, they wanted the canned sauce.
Yeah.
Grandma did make the best cranberry sauce, but you couldn't eat it because they had them damn little seeds in it or whatever you call them, pits or whatever. That would not go away.
My grandma took those out. So ours wasn't like that. It just had chunks of cranberry.
No matter how much they try to take them out, you're going to get some in there. It's the horrible little things that are hard.
Well, I think my grandma did a lot of canning. So she had one of those things that you put the jelly and stuff in. It takes out all the pits and seeds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No more, will you?
And then she would put cheesecloth and stuff. And then and then she just tossed that out. Like the same thing that she did when she made pomegranate jelly, because pomegranate jelly is very difficult to make because of the seeds and like extracting the actual juice to make the
pomegranates are a nightmare.
Jurassic Park.
Yeah. One of the things I miss a lot that has been lost is canning. Like, not as many people can anymore, but I love it.
Flick it.
What?
Flick the comment.
Yeah.
Flick it.
Click it. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, somebody.
Yeah, that's not.
Put somebody in some time out right there, buddy.
What happened?
Yeah.
What happened?
That's not in Christian. That's not on Christian side. That's somewhere else.
No, they come here not realizing it's a family channel. So we've just got
Yeah.
to politely remind them, family channel, family
Let me
channel.
see what they said.
Yeah, they were
It's all good. It was just about the food. It was.
Oh, I
Yeah.
see.
It just was just staying on the. It was just staying.
There
there.
you go.
Because
There
I'm
you
just
go.
moving on. So how about we start wrapping up because we're at 1 hour 56 minutes. I'd like to stay at 2 hours. So I know you all
Okay.
have a lot of things to do, and I'm sure you're probably pretty busy. And I am so grateful that you guys all hung out with me for 2 hours on Saturday. So thank you for
I'm
all.
sorry I
the-
was late, Chrissy. I tried my best to keep my show under 2 hours, and it
Yeah,
I
you
failed.
tried real
No.
hard, no chance.
Was it-
So what would you guys, as a panel, like to talk about next week? Does anybody have some ideas to throw out there? Something that you'd like to cover or talk about?
How about a favorite error in time?
An error.
A era, like from 1500 to 1600, or
The 20.
Roman times, or just a period
Okay.
of time in history.
I absolutely love the Viking era, so I'm all about this. Like, I am
So
so Norse. I'm so Norse. Right, Lobo?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm so Norse. Yeah, Lobo loves Celtic stuff, so it's
Mhm.
very kind of similar. But yeah, I'm a Norse person. I've studied a lot on Viking era, and my DNA came back that I have like 30-something% Viking.
We're going to do all that. We should try to get this fellow named Jay Fritz on because he might actually remember the Viking era.
So yeah, I think that's great. We'll all pick an era that we like, that we would love to discuss, maybe educate some people on some things and go back and forth and talk about, like the different eras, like the golden eras. Like, yeah, definitely. I think that's amazing, Jim. I like that I like that suggestion. We're gonna go ahead and do that.
Chance is going to pick the 30s and 40s because they had the best comic books.
and some pretty good movies.
So if anybody would like to come up on the panel, because I saw some people earlier ask you for links, just shoot me an email at brainbendersbanter@gmail.com. I'll get to know you a little bit, and then we'll see about sending you a link to come up on the panel. But
The only person I'm going to vouch for is Harper.
okay.
I'll vouch for him.
Okay. So that's a good person that we could bring on to BBB.
Or Corey. I'll vouch for Corey.
I've actually wanted to really send out Corey an invite, and I've actually reached out to Keith and said, hey, can we maybe see about getting Corey, but nothing so far, so we'll see about it. I'll send him an invite in a second. I think Lobo actually said that Corey did say to him that he
tell him Danny said he promises to be nice to him.
Well, I think he did tell Lobo that he would go live with him.
Yeah, I was planning on having one of my shows being about magic and comedy and stage presence, stage shows.
That's cool.
So there. So Corey is going to start venturing out and going to other people's channels. But yeah.
He was waiting on me to drop a joke, but I didn't do it.
Okay.
In just a short time, you'll be able to.
Yeah, so we're going to go ahead and tell everybody good night. The comments are getting a little crazy, a little cray. So I'm going to go ahead and say good night. Everybody go ahead and say good night to your people that you've brought. And thank you for coming to the Brain Benders Banter Community Connection, the classic diner, where a little of everything is on the menu. And next week, as Jim says, that is an amazing idea. We'll be talking about our favorite times, eras. Not errors.
And don't forget,
errors would be something
morning,
different.
10 a.m.
I'm pretty partial to them 1700s when we could burn some witches.
Hey.
Burn some witches. Hey, I got something lost for you before we sign off.
Sure, I'm going to go ahead and go through everybody so they could say their goodbyes.
Okay, good.
Go ahead.
Starting with you.
I got a lot change in my sofa. That's all I had to say. Ha ha ha.
Hello. Go ahead and blast your channel tomorrow, bud.
Good night, everybody. And please stick around and come around and see me tomorrow morning for my first show at 10 a.m. Pacific time. I'd be really happy to have the people in the audience with give me topics to discuss and to give me feedback on the topics that I already have ready to discuss. So good night, everybody.
Yay. Jim?
Good luck.
Thank you.
Lobo, I'll see you tomorrow at 1 p.m. East Coast time. And as far as my channel, I'll be posting material probably later this coming week. And I have a possibility of getting a different camera. I just got to work some logistics out and see if it's worth the effort. So thanks everybody for coming in, for being in chat tonight, and for listening to us for 2 hours. You are greatly appreciated.
I agree.
Well said.
That was
Hey,
well
what about
said.
Keebler? What's Keebler doing tomorrow? I'm confused. Anybody? Was she here or anything?
We'll talk about that backstage. Okay, go ahead,
Yep.
Snarky.
I love all of you. Mwah. Pretty much. I'm doing whatever it is I end up doing whenever I end up doing it. I have no idea beforehand. You know me, free floating through the universe. I love everybody. Love all y'all. Thanks for coming. Thanks for being here. Really appreciate it. And tomorrow's Father's Day. But I want to say Happy Daddy's Day to my Papa Z and my Spliffy Pop. I love them so much.
Yes. And then we have Dan.
Happy trails from South Carolina. Be sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell. And be sure to join us next week to see if I can control my mouth. Yes, interesting adventure. Thanks for coming, everybody.
Take care, Dan. And
That
Snarky.
was beautiful, Dan.
And,
I swear that was beautiful. Thank
And
you.
Chrissy.
Hey, that was the best outro ever, Dan. Thanks. I just
Happy
wanna say
trails.
thank you, everybody, for coming. We really appreciate you all being here. It's more important than you know to help the channel grow, especially since I just started doing live streams not that long ago. So I'm still getting it down. Sorry that we still have a few hiccups and stuff. I'm used to having Chance on here, so the time goes a little bit. I only need a couple questions. So tonight it threw me off. I was like, "Hey, we're done. What happened?" I was like, but I'm so excited that all you're here. And Sarah, I love you. I know you had to check out because you're having some phone issues. But sister, thank you so much for your help.
Absolutely.
Chance, thank you. Dan,
You're welcome.
Lobo, Jim, Sass, Snarky. You guys are all family to me. Literally, I love all of you guys very much. And all of our people in the chat. You guys are amazing. And we will be seeing you again next week. Hopefully, you'll be coming back for the next topic. Peace.
Happy trails.